Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Beach Boys, Hashwars, the sequel. All right. How you doing, Connor? How you feeling from the battlefield?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm pretty pumped to go to London in 6 days.
Yeah. I
Six
think
days.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty interesting being there. Yeah. Considering we already lost.
Oh, yeah. Very good point.
Uh
Very good
that
point.
news alert for everyone, the Hashwars is still going on, by the way.
Isn't that the most remarkable thing? That it has been declared over?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a big push for people to think that it's over, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But
I
we've
I
had a
think
pretty or good.
it's just interesting I know we're going to get into this today, but all the services that have declared sides too.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of those that have been picking sides, but we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah. A lot of the exchanges and everything too playing a or trying to play a big role in this. But we'll see how that lasts. Um but yeah, we had a pretty jam-packed week. You had a lot of appearances too. Uh, but I guess like first I guess we'll start off with the talk that we had with decentralized thought, Don Wanton, because I thought that was leading up to the hash war. I thought that was pretty interesting hearing his opinion from it.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Um,
good discussion. I
I
think
feel
it
like it.
I think it became clear pretty quickly in that it was just a. I actually agree with Ryan Charles. I don't actually think that there's much debate about the technicals here. I don't think people are too disagreeing on the technicals.
Mhm.
Um, it seems pretty obvious. I think Ryan Charles spot on. He said this fork was about getting rid of Craig Wright. I think in retrospect that's become really clear, and it seemed like in the talk with him, I thought it was a good conversation, but uh, there was more agreement than disagreement, right? You know, I thought at least, maybe not.
With our conversation with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, for the most part, it was agreement over disagreement, and so I I don't know. I'll be curious to even now. There's people saying, well, there's nothing technically that we oppose with SB, and so it's like so we split over what then? You know, whatever. Not a big deal.
yeah,
It's done. We split. Um, but yeah, good conversation. You can check it out on his channel. We put it on his channel. It's also on Keyport if you want to watch that on Keyport. But uh, he also had an appearance on the Keyport live streams. So they did. I'm like super impressed with what they accomplished. I can't believe. I know they had issues on Thursday where we did the day of the fork. We talked with Craig Wright and that got posted on 4chan. So that became overrun with people and trolls. I don't think it was actually the number of people watching the video. I think it was actually the chat box that overload. I'm pretty sure I haven't really talked to him about it, so I'm kind of making this up, but I thought
Mhm.
my impression from just what I heard was that there was enough people in the chat box just spamming stuff that it became, I think it overran the site from displaying like on the client. So
Mhm.
I don't know. So it did kind of crash then. But yeah, other than that, I thought I can't believe they turned around that site in as quick of a time as they did. And that goes for the whole Keyport site. I mean, I don't think people understand. They came to us being like, we're going to pivot away from the messaging service. We want to build this video streaming service. And
Mhm.
then it was done in like a month. It was insane. It was insane. And it's clean. The UI is good. So, I mean, that was impressive. I thought that was pretty insane how quickly they turned around. And then they were like, I think we're going to do live streaming next. And then they were like, we're going to have that done by the fork date. And this was on like November 1st or something.
Yeah. I mean, they've been up like less than a month, and they were already doing a live stream. And a lot of people probably complain to be like, "Oh, well, they couldn't handle the volume yet." But I mean, like that's pretty impressive, though, what
Oh,
they
yeah.
did in that short of a time for only being up a month and handling a good amount of volume up to the point where I think It was right where you started talking to Craig, and yeah, that's when everything got a little haywire at that point. Did you know that CoinSpice was like streaming it on their end as well?
Yeah, that's what they said, which is, I
Yeah.
think, good. That probably helped more people watch it. It probably would have gone on quicker if they weren't doing that. I don't know. But uh,
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in, I will just say this because I know people across the aisle are going to be watching this maybe, but very disappointed that the BTC subreddit didn't put the Hashwar website on the, I know subreddits really don't matter. I know Reddit really doesn't matter, but like that was just a really big bummer. I thought like these guys have been working on a Bitcoin Cash product, and then all these people who are like, we want Bitcoin Cash adoption. That was a huge opportunity to get a lot of people looking at Keyport, and they chose politics instead of, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So then CoinSpice went on the CoinSpice stream too, which that was fun.
I watched you after. Well, you had the interview with Craig, which I want to talk about as well.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to it. But yeah, we had the interview with Craig, and then I wrapped up the show with Kurt and George real quick, and then found out that you were over on CoinSpice. You were on there for a while too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching it. Yeah, you were
It was fun.
holding the
Fun.
tent.
Well, actually, I got into, I think on the Bitcoin, I was actually more frustrated that there were just non-Bitcoin Cash people there. I get why. I know they're like a cryptocurrency thing. So,
Yeah.
but I was like, I got on there and people were like Simon Dixon was there talking about BTC as Bitcoin. I was just like, I don't care about this. But so some of the times I wasn't really paying attention, but I might have been a little too controversial, I think. I don't know.
So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, should we do it like sequential time maybe then? Because I want to get into that.
Yeah, we should.
So I want to get into the controversial aspect, but I also don't want to forget about the Craig interview that you did.
Yeah, let's maybe just recap the whole day. I mean, we can probably recap we have the site open.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think that, yeah, let's just recap the day and like pretty much just do a recap of like where we are now.
Yep. So you can see, so what we're looking at here is the hash rate. So this has pretty much been the hash rate distribution since the fork. So gray is pre-fork, and then red is SV, and orange is ABC after the fork. So pretty much what we saw immediately, which wasn't really a surprise, is Bitcoin.com moved their pool hash rate over to ABC, and the most hash rate that's ever been on Bitcoin Cash, like ever, was mining. SV didn't take a similar approach. It seemed like we didn't really see BMG come online for a while. There was a lot of, so at the time, Ryan Charles was on the CoinSpice stream, and I was flipping back between that and the Keyport stream, mainly because of Ryan. If Ryan wasn't on there, I'm not sure how much that I would have watched, but and I got to give him props because I think part of the reason, we were just talking about Money Button released a statement apologizing for censoring some people from yours. He got pretty frustrated, I think, and I got to be honest with you, I would have broken probably sooner than he did. So it sounds like he kind of snapped with like, there's the guy Robert Miller. Have you seen him on Twitter? He's spearheading the Bitch Boys campaign. He's spearheading that campaign.
Yeah.
But that guy is who Ryan he booted from. But the guy was, I want to make this clear. The guy was saying he had a tool he was going to use to defraud Money Button or yours or something. And so Ryan booted him. That's all that happened. Is this guy was like saying, I have a tool that I can double spend on yours or something. I don't even know how true any of it was, but so Ryan booted him, and then all these other people started being like, "Oh, Ryan's a censorer." So he booted the other people. And should he have booted the other people? Probably not. Should he have booted Robert Miller? Yeah, I have no problem with any of that. That's like, it's just stupid. But anyway, so he was on the stream, right? Sorry. He was on the stream, and pretty much he would speak and the rest of the stream would go silent because it was kind of like everyone kind of knew what he was saying made sense. But his kind of theory at the time was that they were planning on doing a big reorg on the ABC chain. So the SV miners were using all their hash rate to mine ABC in secret and then to go back and reorg the ABC chain. That was kind of the leading theory. I thought that was probably what was happening. It made sense to me that if I wanted to win this thing off the bat, that's what I would have done. So that's the theory, I guess, for the most part of the day. Keyport's doing their live stream. We hop on there. I guess it was just me. You couldn't make it for that part. Hopped on, talked
Yeah.
to Craig, who was his normal self, did not seem concerned about the whole thing at all, was cracking a ton of jokes. I was having kind of a hard time keeping it serious.
So,
Yeah.
because like I thought it was kind of interesting because on the ABC side of things, a lot of them were talking about are referring to your interview with Craig as the meltdown of Craig Gray.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a lot of people who probably have never talked to him or heard him talk before, I think.
Right. And we've had multiple conversations with him before. So I mean, I just kind of want to hear your opinion of it. Like,
Yeah, well, I kind of want to rewatch it because I really, to be honest, with you, some of it was that whole day was pretty surreal. I mean, we were up at like what 4 a.m. that day. We did that interview, so I was a little out of it, but
yeah,
especially by the end of that CoinSpice stream, I was done pretty much. Like I was just out of the whole thing. People
yeah,
thought I was reading all these comments like, "Oh, Connor's all bummed out because of the checkpoint thing," which we'll get to that. But I was like, no, I literally was just like, I had a headache. I went to bed. I slept for like 12 hours. Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah, we
so
got up pretty early that morning to go talk with is it
Blocks Live.
Blocks Live? Yeah, Blocks Live.
Um,
So
but so anyway, so yeah, Craig just, in fact, what surprised me the most was how cocky he was being. That's what, so everyone goes, oh, he had a meltdown. And he was just like to me, that was like the epitome of cocky Craig, right? You know? And I
yeah,
thought it was awesome. I thought it was hilarious, but I understand why a lot of people find it abrasive or whatever.
yeah.
Um, I think he said the word soy boy like 30 times. Like, I don't know. So yeah, that's what actually surprised me. I was actually expecting him to say like, I don't know. Yeah, everyone. It's interesting. I was actually having a talk with my friend about this. Is there's really two realities going on. You know, there's people
Mhm.
who are on the ABC side of things that watch that video, for example, and they
Yeah.
come away with one conclusion. And then, as a perfect example of this, is when he was talking with decentralized thought, right?
Hmm.
Everyone on the ABC side came away thinking like Craig's unhinged. I thought it was hilarious, and it was just very him being like, it's just there's two realities going on. There's people that hate him, and so they draw their own conclusions. And then, like I self-admitted, I do like the guy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's he's eccentric, right? But anyway, so
He could maybe communicate a little bit better and nicer at times. But hey, you know what? Hey,
when you got that much money, I think you know you stop caring a little bit, especially when you're again though. Think about how much crap he
well,
gets on the internet, and I know you can say all you want, you don't care about that kind of stuff, but it's much easier, I think, to be like I don't give a fuck about anything when that's the scenario, you know?
yeah. Well, you also have to look at the fact that like how much content he's producing, which I'm just going to say flat out, I don't think anyone's reading any of it.
Yeah.
They've already ruled him as a fraud, whatever you want to say. They've already classified him as this this guy that just spews a bunch of crap. But if you're reading his articles that he's been posting on Medium, it's a wake up call. It's
Yeah.
a wake up call of what's about to come. And people can say, "Oh, well, nothing's happened yet," so it's full of crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what Pablo Escobar was doing too. He was selling drugs. He wasn't getting caught. Everyone he was getting away with it.
Yeah. Yep.
And all the things that Craig's saying that's illegal, and all these securities. He's recently come out a lot about the securities aspect and
Go hammering into Ripple. Yeah.
yeah, and people can not take him seriously and continue to do whatever they're doing, but there's a day where that might not work anymore. And yeah, but outside of like law though, everything else that he's writing about Bitcoin, and econ too, the economic aspect of Bitcoin as well. Like, I think no one's really just paying attention to it. They're looking at the personality of Craig, not the content. We've talked about that before on our previous shows. But I'm not trying to, say, oh, yeah, Craig's the most awesome guy in the world. Everyone should listen to him. But remove the personality of him. Look at the content that he's producing.
Yeah. I think. Well, all right. Well, maybe let's get to that. So if you go through the rest of it, right? So timeline, I guess, is, again, we're probably talking to him. It was probably around this middle point here. Or
I think when I hopped on and you were done talking to him, I think we were about
right here, actually, probably
30 something blocks behind.
Yeah,
our SV was 30 something blocks behind ABC.
And so, yeah, I think that's what I guess, obviously from an outsider looking in, I didn't understand the strategy going on. I thought maybe he was still working on a reorg. I don't know, but I didn't know what was going on. He was very much holding his cards close to his chest. So then from then on, went on the CoinSpice stream. Had some good conversations. Like, I actually really enjoyed the conversations that I had with Justin and the Caniac guy.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was a good conversation. I had no complaints. Chris Passia hated the whole thing.
I saw when he got on, I was like, oh boy.
He was pissed. He was not. I was just like, dude, that guy needs to chill. He's blocked us on Twitter. Whatever. I think Jesus Christ. He's like, oh, we got to purge all the. I find it this funny too. No one's complaining about how he wants to purge SV people.
Permissionless.
Ryan bans one guy from yours, and it's the crime of the century, right? Whatever. So not important.
Hey, ABC's permissionless.
Yeah, okay. Permissionless. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so, but what was more interesting, I do encourage, we'll put a link. People can go watch that whole thing. But then Andreas Brecken came on, clearly intoxicated. I'm just saying that. It was very clear to me. So I think he was maybe a little too loose-lipped, probably for what his buddy Roger would have preferred. Because he starts talking about checkpoints. So he mentions that the ABC chain had worked with exchanges to implement checkpoints, which if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much just a way to tell your software, like, this block is a starting point to build on top of. So the Genesis block is the ultimate checkpoint. I'm not even. We could pull up the thing of Andreas saying all this, but you can find it at.
Yeah, people can go find it. It's.
But he essentially says that. He says this was over before it started. He's smoking something. He's all confident about the whole thing, and he's just like, "This was over before it started." I started getting attacked.
First 30 minutes.
Found this interesting. I started getting attacked by Andreas and Chris for talking about the white paper, because the white paper is a 10-year-old document. So who cares about it? I thought that was interesting. And then
so I will say,
yeah,
like, because you were referencing the white paper quite a bit that day.
Yeah.
And, like, I get it. I get why you're saying that. But, like, I feel like everyone was using that as their like they were using that as their argument against you.
Right.
And it was kind of funny to see that.
It was,
like,
yeah.
And you kept going to it too, and, like, it was awesome. I loved it personally. I loved it. But, like, everyone on the ABC side was using that against you, and, like, seeing you as, like, a white paper cultist, like, white paper's the Bible and all this stuff. But yeah.
Well, and I guess to sort of conclude this is, right, Andreas then I get asked to leave, have final words. I'm not like in a bad way, just I'd been on there for a while. And I wasn't really saying anything, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to head out. I just wanted to say, I just asked specifically about the governance structure. How does this affect the governance structure using these checkpoints? And I was just curious to hear their thoughts. And Andreas immediately goes, like, he's like, it was the worst thing we could have done. We fucked up, is what he said.
Yeah.
calls them centralized checkpointing. Him and Chris start arguing. Andreas saying the only checkpoint he needs is the Genesis block, right? Now, I don't think the checkpoint thing is a huge deal. Like, especially if you're going to declare a hash war, you know, all's fair in love and war, right? I think it's a fair statement. I don't think, I actually don't care that much about it. I also
people got fired up about it on the SV side.
I got more fired up about it because it was an admission. I just wished it wouldn't have happened. I understand why it happened. I just wished we would have been able to play this out fair. I wanted to see a long reorg. I wanted to see what that would have looked like, whether that was on the SV side or the ABC side. I think seeing a long reorg would have been pretty cool. Like, obviously it's easy to say that because obviously we support SV, but a long reorg would have been like, oh, cool, this is how you can fight in a hash war, right? And instead, it was just, I just hate this idea of using exchanges to, the whole thing irks me the wrong way, but I don't care that much. It then bothered me how everyone goes, well, Satoshi did it. And it's like, Satoshi did it because he was fixing bugs. Like, he was fixing bugs in the early stage of the software. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between Satoshi putting something like that in temporarily and you going to exchanges to win a fight in a hash war, right? So,
yeah. But
whatever. Again, don't really care. I think it was even Shatters that was like, not a big deal. Doesn't matter. So that was our Thursday.
Well,
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Shatter say like, yeah, we're not surprised? Like,
yeah, he was saying it's not a big deal. He said it wasn't a big deal. Jimmy claimed that they were ready for that for a week. I actually don't necessarily buy that. I'll just be honest. I don't. I think the checkpoints might have been a surprise because I don't think. I
don't know.
Part
of me, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to show too many cards.
But I think, clarify real quick?
Yeah.
There's two things. There's two options. Number one, they didn't prepare for it, and therefore their initial strategy could have been more of a show of force. Or number two, they never intended to make a show of force from the beginning, and they did anticipate the checkpoints. So there's two scenarios. The only reason why I say I don't know if I believe them is because if I knew that was coming, I would have made more of an effort at the beginning. But I'm speaking as some armchair kid that doesn't have billions of dollars at stake. Okay, so
right.
The other second option that I think is also viable is that they never wanted to make a show of force at the very beginning, and that might get into what wrote that article today. We can talk about that, but I think that might play into the actual strategy going on. But anyway.
See, I'm coming from the N-Chain, the company, the N-Chain, the risk management company.
Right.
Like, I think they played out every scenario that could have happened. That's why I think that this is just my belief, is that they did account for the potential of this situation to arrive. I think they had a plan for every single situation that could have played out, assuming that they have the hash rate.
Yeah.
And that's the unknown. But yeah.
Let's get to that. Let's even just run through the rest of this because I think pretty much Thursday was the most eventful day. You could argue that I think today was probably the next most eventful, and we'll get to that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the stress test was great. Saturday, I actually really enjoyed talking with. I mean, the stream was awesome. I know you've been there too.
I missed all day Saturday, but I had some important family things to attend to. But
it was great because there was a ton of people that I got to talk to, a lot of great people. Craig was just popping in and out the whole day and having a really good time, which again, I think this kind of plays into everyone's going, well, this is all over. Look at Craig, the fraud. But every time that we've seen him, he's been very, very in his normal high spirit, cocky self.
Well, yeah. And I think everyone's relating to the conversation that you had with Craig as a meltdown on Thursday. But I think even more as a conversation that Don Monton had with Craig, which I thought was hilarious.
And the thing is, there's 8,000 things that I need to get out there about Saturday that bothered me.
Yeah.
So Craig obviously was on and off all day. So he was just, everyone thinks he ambushed Dom Decentralized Thought.
Yeah.
I don't think he even knew he was on. He just kept popping into the stream all day because he had the meeting code. I think he joined, and that's why when he joined, he was just like, I don't even think he knew who he was, because he was just like, oh, why does everyone think you're a flake? He was just like, everyone thinks Craig ambushed this guy. Like, Craig had no idea what was going on. I think he was just literally the entire day, he had friends over or something, and he kept going downstairs and popping back up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I want to get that out there. He didn't ambush the guy.
Get some scotch too.
Yeah, he had some scotch. I know why it looked like he maybe ambushed him, but it was not planned by any means.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I talked with the keyboard guys to figure that out. So next. So that happened again. Yeah, everyone's calling him meltdown. Again, I think that was just him being himself. Next, Jimmy came on. And Jimmy gave an amazing speech. Like, really, something that I needed to be said. I think, again, it got misinterpreted by the other side, as everything will. But what I really appreciated his speech was just that it to me made it kind of explained how I felt. But then on the other hand, I don't think he was making excuses. So everyone goes, Jimmy was making excuses. I don't think he was making excuses. I think he was just saying, this is where we are in the war right now. And that's all there is to it. It bothered me that we posted on Reddit. I found the YouTube video, so I just put it on our Reddit account, or on RBTC under our Reddit account. And
yeah,
Chris Passia immediately goes, LOL, they invited him on to talk, and he just made this tirade and left. I was like, why do people just make stuff up? That's not what happens. He has to come on to make an announcement and leave. That's all that happens. So
yeah,
everyone's just lying about stuff. But not important. I encourage everyone to watch that, put a link. And then now we're here. Now we're here on Saturday, and we mined a 38 megabyte block. Well, I didn't do anything, but SV Pool mined a 38 megabyte block.
Sure, we're here on Monday, but yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
Monday,
he said Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Monday, November 19th, we're here. We had a 38 meg block and a 64 meg block mined today by SV Pool and CoinGeek. And what you're looking at is the hash rate as of whatever time it is, UTC. I don't know what time it is, UTC.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people though were giving us crap though for like Saturday was supposed to be the big stress test day, and we couldn't push past that point.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Craig claimed that there were limits that were softly set, but I don't know what was going on. I was disappointed. I wish we would have seen higher blocks. I'm glad it's happened. Yeah. It sounds like from talking with Brendan, they're committed to making, like, they're not going to stop until they have big blocks, and I think they're going to see how high they can push it. So
yeah, well, that's been the fun part. Is like there's just been big block after big block.
Yeah,
it's been fun. But and today finally we got what was it, 38, and then shortly after 64.
Yeah, 2 blocks later, 64. Yeah, so
they said it couldn't be done.
Nope. No, they could not. And yeah, so, and here we are. Here's the hash rate distribution. So in terms of proof of work, I mean, ABC is dominating, right? Now, Craig's thing that he mentioned a lot on Saturday, which I found interesting because it was kind of the first time I'd rethought the whole scenario. I kind of thought their whole game plan was to just out proof of work the whole thing, which is why the whole strategy didn't make sense to me. His pretty much viewpoint seems to be, once we have majority hash rate, we can make lives living hell for exchanges and for the chain itself. So you can see this morning, pretty much our time this morning, was when he tweeted out, we have the tweet somewhere, but tweeted out saying, Roger, don't give up. Roger, don't give up yet. I want to bleed you, or something like that. And then immediately Roger's hash rate goes back up, or the ABC hash rate went back up. And ever since then, it's tanked on the SV side, making me really curious as to what the strategy is here, because this also, as an SV supporter, makes me a little scared. I mean, you got 1 exahash here, right? I don't know the strategy involved right now, but I think they like it that way, that we don't know.
I think, yeah.
All right, so let's keep this moving. So now where are we at, right? I think that's the question.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Every exchange has pretty much opened up. Well, not everyone, sorry. A few exchanges have listed BCH as ABC. Those same exchanges have split off BCH, have split off the SV chain into tickers like BSV, BCHSV.
All of them, though, I would classify as like futures. Only because withdrawals and deposits aren't activated yet on.
So what is Bittrex the only one with withdrawals right now?
So Bittrex is the only one with withdrawals and deposits on.
Interesting. Okay.
So Poloniex, as far as I'm concerned, they are still waiting until the network stabilizes for deposits and withdrawals to happen.
Okay.
And a lot of the other ones that have listed ABC as BCH, those ones, they're doing the same, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many exchanges out there. There might be a few small ones that are allowing it. But again, small exchanges, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay. Interesting.
But the fact that one is open for deposits and withdrawals is
significant.
Somewhat significant, because I think as soon as you see one, I think we might see a couple other start to, and then it'll be interesting to see where it plays out after that.
And I think this is also, we should bring this up. I mean, this is noteworthy. This is very important for what we're about to talk about. This is the BTC price chart. I mean, we hit 46.70 today. US dollar.
Yeah. Markets are taking a crap.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, this is literally, as soon as this happened the other day, you knew we're in for, this is not good for, I don't care. I'm cool.
Yeah.
This is great.
I love it.
For the cryptocurrency community, this is not good news. This is not good news. And look at this from however long ago. Now, this is interesting because this kind of plays into the profitability, right? Now, even with the BTC price tank, it is right now, oh my God, it is right now 42%.
Yeah, it got down to 42%.
Well, so I guess to reword this, it's 68% or 58% less profitable to mine Bitcoin Cash as opposed to BTC.
Yeah.
And that's insane.
I think it's noteworthy to highlight that the last time it was like somewhat this low was like last year in November.
That's insane.
When we were seeing like all those crazy
the EDA, right?
Yeah, that was when we were having those crazy like price fluctuations as well. And yeah, the difficulty.
The EDA, since it's been adjusted, has not allowed this.
I think it was November 15th last year where they changed it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So this is not good for a specific subset of miners. And we can talk about who those miners are. Okay. But before we do that, let's look at this chart again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at this, 136% more profitable to mine in the BTC chain. Let me just refresh this page and make sure. 132 now. Wow. Okay. Bitcoin.com is leasing this hash rate. I don't think people understand this. Like, this is not, they don't own this, right? So this means that not only are they making a less profitable mining choice, they also then have to pay people out in BTC, for example. Like, if I'm a miner on the BTC pool, you better be paying me in BTC, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is something interesting. BitMax Research put this tweet up. I'll show this if you can see this. Oh, they've updated it again. Good. Wow. They've updated it again. Look at these numbers. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's something. It's someone trying to do some research here. The ABC miners, assuming they're leasing the hash rate, have made a $3.15 million loss since Thursday. The claim here is that for SV, 2.9. I don't think that this is true because I think they're probably closer to this. I think they own most of their hash rate. I don't think most of theirs is leased. But even then, even assuming leased hash rate, ABC is outspending, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. Can you imagine burning $3 million in less than a week?
It would be fun. I can create a huge list of ways I would like to burn $3 million.
I mean, literally, this is insane. This is literally insane, right? Now, again, bring this back here, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
This is only getting worse for them. This is the problem. So Bitmain doesn't own a lot of BTC. I don't think people understand that, right? Or, well, I mean, I think anyone who's looked in anything understands that, but people
on their IPO.
Yeah, no one's thinking this through, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Bitmain and I don't have much BTC as their IPO, sorry, you were saying that. Their IPO forms admit that, but they have 1.1 million BCH.
Which I want to be clear too. Those IPO forms, like I'm taking those with a grain of salt as well, but
sure.
Just to, I'm not taking those forms as like literal. Yeah, I mean those could have been fluctuated as well, but yeah. But according to the forms, they don't have that much BTC.
And I think that might explain, to me, why we saw less of the AMP pool hash move. I think we were expecting to see AMP pool hash move. I wasn't expecting the Bitcoin.com pools to move. Well, I mean, I guess I was expecting both, but it seems like Bitcoin.com has been the only ones to move.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the ones supplying the BTC to pay out for these. I don't know if AMP pool could have supplied the BTC to pay out. It's just speculation, just making stuff up. Not a big deal. That's what we do in Bitcoin. We make stuff up. So
we jump to conclusions. Someone should create a jump to conclusions chart specifically for Bitcoin Cash.
So what we're seeing here is the longer that this goes on, you have to remember these statements. So again, I'll pull this article. We kind of wrote about this today. Put a link to this. If you look at the statements being made, Craig writes email to Roger. If you want war, I will do 2 years of no trade, nothing. In the war, no coin can trade. If you want ABC, you want shitcoins, welcome to bankruptcy. It was nice knowing you. Bitcoin will die before ABC shits on it. I will see BCH trade at zero for a few years. Will you? He's literally saying he's willing to do this for 2 years. Okay. Now,
that was part of the email, right?
Yeah, that was the email.
Yeah. I guess we should also clarify that Craig hasn't confirmed nor denied that email.
Yeah, but that read like a Craig Wright email to me.
I'm neither confirming nor denying.
Neither confirming nor. Yeah. But what we see here is this is the most important thing. So in part of that email, which we didn't put in the article, was Craig saying to Roger, I am Satoshi. He said that in the email. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So there's two possible scenarios here. Honestly, this is the fact of the matter. Either Craig Wright was involved in the Satoshi stuff, which we didn't even mention the Satoshi key signature signing, but we'll get to that later.
I think part of it's irrelevant though.
Very irrelevant.
Well,
it's not irrelevant.
No.
This is the thing. In this hash for, I know what you're saying, but in this hash for, there's two things. Everything Craig has been saying is a lie, or he's telling the truth. There's two scenarios. Now, he's going so far to say this hash for is about 2 years of no trade, and he just throws into Roger, I am Satoshi, okay? Don't care whether anyone believes it or not, but he's essentially saying I have 1 point whatever million BTC, and I have 1 point whatever million BCH, saying I will fund this war to bankrupt you. is what he's telling Roger.
Yeah.
I mean, so everyone likes to be like, oh, fake Toshi or whatever. The strategy here seems to imply that he's willing, because again, we look at his tweet. His strategy goes, come on, Roger, keep burning. We do not want to get ahead just yet. This is when, I think there's more images here. There's no image of the hash rate, but this is him waiting. This is at the point here when the hash rate started to cross, right? So if this is all true, this BTC dropping in price, I don't know. I'm just saying he doesn't need, if they've just been mining BTC while Roger is burning BCH essentially.
Yeah.
The strategies get very interesting here. I think you don't threaten a hash war and then lose like this, is my opinion.
Well, that's why I've actually heard a couple of people on the ABC side say that like something seems like it was too easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think everyone should look at the hash rate on Bitcoin Cash before the upgrade as well. And like think about how the story could change like that. Like,
well, and if you're a vengeful dick, Corey, so if you're like if you're a super vengeful dick, right? Just put yourself in those shoes of being someone who's very pissed off at two individuals and you really want to make them pay, right? What you would probably do in this scenario, if you had a ton more money than them,
mm-hmm.
you would let them do all of this. You would then force them to sell the split coin. I think, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but this is what I would do. And this is what I would do if I was Roger and Jihan. This is strategy from both sides. You would make the other side lose so much money that, okay, so now Roger runs out of BTC, hypothetically, or Jihan runs out of BTC, but they still want to fund this war. They're going to now use the BSV, as they're calling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go dump their BSV on an exchange.
Go ahead.
That's what you would want them to happen, because then you win the hash war, and you've now taken these people's holdings from being very significant players in the politics moving forward, really, to having no influence. And this is the beauty of Nakamoto consensus. This is what no one understands, I think, right? I mean, this is great, what we're seeing. Everyone thinks that this is terrible, and everyone, there's this guy who I respect. A lot of people I had respect for, losing respect for day by day. Kashav, his name's Kashav.
Yeah.
He calls every market move I've ever seen. That was always surprising to me. But he accuses us of not caring about ETH BCH because we want the hash war to go on. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And so everyone's saying, like, now the play is to blame Craig. They're blaming Craig for the BTC drop, which I'm going to say, thanks, Craig, if that is you. Appreciate it. Let's kill BTC. Let's get it over with, right? But they're blaming Craig for that. Everyone's like, oh my God, Craig Wright caused this. They're blaming Craig for ETH BCH not getting donations. Ridiculous. A ridiculous politicization of the scenario, of the situation. Right?
It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah.
And us.
Go ahead, use Dash. Use Dash.
We're being blamed, dude. That's the funny part too. Because we have an opinion.
Well, I mean, we do have a great we have a very high proof of social media hash rate, which our research and development team has proven that we do have that.
We did find that out recently, actually.
Yeah. After many hours in the laboratory, our R&D team came back, estimated 95% proof of social media.
We didn't realize how strong it was, but it's very strong. It's very, very strong. And so, Corey, we caught up to the present, okay? So what's going to happen moving forward? I think this is the real question everyone's wondering. How long is this going to last? According to Craig Wright, it's going to last months. So I wish
Which yeah.
everyone, including myself, I wish I would have taken his advice to sell all your coins. Is what he told you to do months ago, or a month ago, or however long ago. He told you to sell your coins. He said, this is going to be a long battle. I'm warning you right now, I will see BTC go to zero. He might play this till the end of 2019, for all we know. You know what I mean? I don't think that'll happen because I think at one point, one side has to capitulate.
It's going to be Calvin. JK. Just kidding. I'm just I'm kind of trolling the pleas on Reddit.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Roger getting a little desperate, man. Getting a little desperate.
His video yeah.
It brings us to this tweet, Corey. I mean, September 27th. This didn't just become the strategy. This has been the strategy from the start. Calvin Ayre.
Yeah.
First of all, beautiful scenery here. Training mind and body for the world's first Bitcoin hash war. With the minds of miners now open to miners' choice and Nakamoto consensus, I now believe that hash war will be the new norm. Winning will now be defined by who can take long-term pain in protection of their values.
And if anyone thinks that the pain that we've suffered so far is anything big, it's not. I don't think this is just getting started.
Oh, this is funny. Jonathan Tumum. Maybe you should be training your programmers instead. They haven't made any improvements yet to Bitcoin SV that would improve the capacity or scaling of Bitcoin Cash. SV's code is still limited to about 3 megabytes of transactions per 10 minutes.
64.
I'm going to retweet it.
Oh, yeah, we got a live.
Just a little emoji.
Ooh.
Let's see. Where's the thinking face? There we go. That Calvin.
Oh, this is fun. Trolling on Twitter during our show.
Oh, man.
But what you were saying, I mean, Roger's video to Calvin, everyone's saying that Calvin's not going to mine at a loss. That's why. Well, they've been hinting at this for a while beforehand, that they're willing to suffer this long-term pain. And I think that's what gets us into where we are at now, is Roger and Jihan, they're all trying to claim victory. So to make people think, I think their next game plan is the exchanges. They think that if they can have something listed on the exchange, if they have it listed on the exchange, I think they won, which kind of gets into proof of exchange, proof of social media, kind of differs away from the and you kind of got into it when you were on the CoinSpice video. You were saying that I don't care what exchanges do. Exchanges are all speculation right now. And the goal of Bitcoin was sound money from the beginning. It wasn't speculations. And all exchanges are just speculations. I think Craig said it today. He's like, all the exchanges that don't have something where you can actually convert back to fiat, like token to token exchanges, most of those are scams. They're all speculation.
Absolutely worthless.
And we're not here for speculation. We've mentioned it. We started this show. We were not here for speculation. We were here for sound money. Electronic peer-to-peer cash. One, not like a million that you can inflate with value with the speculation market.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing that I'm kind of getting annoyed with too. I respect Roger. Everything he's done for Bitcoin.
Gone off the deep end, man.
But everything that he's been saying has been infuriating me. He keeps pushing this peer-to-peer electronic cash, economic freedom for the world. Well, I'm just going to say this, Roger. BTC going from 20,000 to now 4812. Is that good? Is that good for the world? Is that good for the economic freedom of the world? People losing like 75% of their value. That's not sound cash. That's not a sound money. That's not electronic peer-to-peer cash. I mean, if he wants to live in this world with a ton of other coins, that it's just not plausible. And you know what? That it brings us up to, there's all these freaking scams out there. I'm not about to go on a rant here. But for real though, like really, something jumping up to 20K, drop it down to 48,000 or 4,800. You think that's good? Like that's not good. People. You told people to just keep buying the dip, buy the dip. People are losing so much money. It's infuriating to hear someone say that this is good. This is good for the world, economic freedom for all. Losing that much value, that's not good. That's not sound money at all.
And more importantly, there's a greater point of just the markets themselves are what's causing, like I would like to do a larger piece on this at one point, is just the entire concept of having cryptocurrencies doesn't make anything better. Everyone thinks because we have cryptocurrencies, everything's better. I think it could arguably make things worse if you just treat them all as equal. And that's what's happening. They're all being treated equally, right? But I think aside from even all of this, what's frustrating me the most is Roger Ver employing the same tactics that the Bcash people used last year. He's already declaring the war over when we know it's not over. He wants to declare it over. I respect Roger, but I'm losing a lot of respect for him and a lot of other people recently. It's just, it's getting, I don't care if people have another opinion, but just this whole BCH, everyone going BSV and all that other stuff right off the bat, it's just so, we've learned nothing from last year. We've learned nothing. And you know how people are going to learn something, Corey? By getting wrecked in the markets. And that's the truth of it. So you literally have people, was it Chris? Was it Chris that dumped his BSV? Who did that? Hang on, we just saw it. Someone said, "Oh, I just dumped my BSV." It's Adam Back level shit, dude. Just dumped my BSV. Got it for $50 or something. Telling other people like, "Oh, you better dump it while you still can." Remember when people were saying that about Bitcoin Cash?
Yeah, that was the same exact storyline.
Oh, it was Tom Zander. It was Tom Zander. I just sold the BSV I had on the exchange for BCH. Sell fast. BSV is dropping value. This is Adam Back level stuff, man. And I love by the way, I love all the tweets now of Adam Back telling people just buy the dip at 11,000. He's telling people that.
If you go on our Bitcoin right now, apparently it's all just like buy the dip, all these price memes and everything.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing we didn't mention. Sorry, bud. There's so many.
Sorry, are you hearing a lot on your end? You hearing it? Okay. Sorry, there might be something on the sound. I don't know. Someone's washing machine's like breaking or something. But
I can't hear anything. You're good.
Yeah, I keep muting, but go ahead.
Shatter. Well, there's been so much been going on, but Shatters tweeted on the day of the fork, 15 November 20. I thought it was a cool tweet. Put it on memo. Terranode on the brink of second bailout for Bitcoin. Welcome to world, baby. So it looks like Terranode is live, and that probably explains why we're seeing some of these larger blocks as well. Tried to get Craig to talk about that, but he said no comment. So, but anyway, I mean,
you mentioned might learn a little bit more about it at CoinGeek, right?
Yeah, I'm pumped for CoinGeek. I want to try.
Hopefully, we can learn more about what that meant. But
I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Everyone, this is the other thing that I find interesting, and I know this whole thing's kind of been a rant, but everyone. One of the things I saw was the economic majority was with ABC. I don't know anyone on the ABC chain who I really like. I'm not going to say, well, I guess what I will say is that the people on this side seem to be building products that I can see gaining mass adoption. Things like Keyport, things like Money Button. things like yours.org. So it just seems weird to me that when you go the economic majority, things like Cashport, by the way, Cashport I think is going to enable everything. To say the economic majority, I don't really know what that means. Does that mean exchanges? Because yeah, I agree that probably the most gamblers don't like Craig Wright, and so therefore they're on the anti-Craig Wright chain, which I think Ryan said that very well. Anyone but Craig, ABC. That's what I saw today. Anyway.
It kind of goes into a big split philosophically, like of there's people in the cryptocurrency market that fear corporations, see corporations as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And they want like an ultimate takedown. A lot of people have like insinuated, a woman anarchist, and I don't know. I can't get behind the anarchist route. Because everyone kind of thinks that anarchy and this idea of, just all out freedom, no government at all. I just don't see it as being a realistic option. I think we've talked about a little bit, the whole idea of Bitcoin is sound money. And I think sound money also leads to transparency and transparent governments, which I don't know if we have today. But like transparent governments, I think is what we ultimately need to lead to. And I think the idea of what you were just saying is that you have all these products on the N-chain side that seem to have long-term value. We see the long-term value in a lot of these products. And a lot of the other stuff is just like cool little projects, like cryptocurrency projects. And I think that's kind of where the split is going to be, is you have like this cryptocurrency market that's, full of anarchists and everything. And then you have the corporation side of everything. And I think that's the corporation side of Bitcoin is pretty small, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone's saying that ABC has the bigger economic value, I think, of what you were trying to allude to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and I think
I just think it's underhanded to say the economic majority is ones. It's just such a ridiculous statement when there's very little economic activity on the chain at all, too, right?
Yeah, it's also, in the speculative market that we're into, it's like, how does anyone have any idea right now? We're so small. We are so small right now.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. And I think it's also important too to realize, everyone talks about, taking down fiat central governments, like the bad people. Well, like you also have to think about all the people that are outside of cryptocurrency right now. And let's just say there was a takedown and everything. You think that's good for the whole rest of the world? Do you know how many people would lose their jobs?
Yeah.
The kind of impacts of what you're alluding to when you want an anarchist society. It's a dangerous line. And, we might get attacked for what I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
but
you never, the anarchists get upset. So
yeah.
How long have we been? I can't. I don't see usually I see a timer. I'm not seeing a timer. Yeah.
I think this might be a good point to leave it off. What do you think?
I just realized, I hope I'm recording it, but I am. We're good.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. But so was this last show before
CoinGeek?
For CoinGeek.
So I guess, for anyone that doesn't know, we'll be live streaming CoinGeek at the coffee breaks during each day. We're trying to get some interviews set up. And if you are interested in drinking some beers with us, let us know. Leave us a comment, tweet at us.
Yeah.
We'll be there. What else are we, for the most part, we're just trying to really get as much down on audio and video as we can. So I don't know. Yeah. We might try and, we talked today, I think we're going to live stream at the coffee breaks. I don't know how much else will be live streamed. So don't think we're live streaming the presentations or anything, or they are, don't think we're going to try to.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna live stream the presentations per se, but I think what our goal is, I don't want to say what we're gonna do, but listen to the presentations and then kind of do a recap during the coffee breaks and bring in different people. Maybe bring in a couple of people that gave the presentations during the segment before. Talk about what products we'll see coming on the SV side.
On the Bitcoin side.
On the Bitcoin side. Yep.
Because let's be very clear. I think the last thing I want to mention here, this doesn't end. I don't think this does not end with 3 chains. There's no way this ends with 3 chains. If ABC wants to win, they better have a lot of hash rate. And if they want a lot of hash rate, BTC is going to lose hash rate. I mean, we haven't even shown. Have you seen this, Corey? The difficulty adjustment? They just had a retarget on the BTC chain. It's not retargeting again for another 14 days. I mean, this is nuts, man. Honestly, I think we might be witnessing the death of BTC. I'm not even kidding. I think everyone's ignoring that.
Bold statement.
This is insane, man. The relative minor award. I really do. I really think we're in the midst of the death of BTC. I mean, we broke out of this gigantic, everyone claiming the bottom was in. Look at this. This doesn't end tomorrow.
A lot of people were talking about November and how the price is going to spike in November again.
Yeah, we'll see, bud. We'll see. I think. I mean, this doesn't end, man. This does not end. I don't think this ends until we hit I don't know anything about price, but this isn't over. This is not over. And this is not over. And the longer this goes on, the longer this goes down.
Yeah. Yes. It is going to be an interesting 2019 year for cryptocurrency. But yeah, I completely agree. This it's dangerous.
Well, until then.
Yeah.
Corey, I'll see you in less than a week.
Yeah. See you, and we'll start vlogging a little bit, and when everyone sees us next, we'll be in London. So, Coin Geek Week.
All right.
It's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. All right.
All right.
Let me stop this.